Okay, Shreedip, I think we can start if you want to.
Yes, sure. Let's, the show must go on. So let's start. People will be joining us. So namaste, good morning, afternoon, and evening. First of all, I'd like to welcome you all to this session. This year, a new approach was taken with the mentorship program, and this open session is a crucial part of the program for better engagement. This year, we had 8 mentors, including me. Our mentors were Dr. Sudha, Yon Chung, Shibendu, Pablo, Rajaram, Maureen Hilliard, and Satish. And we try to facilitate the fellows in the most proactive and robust way. In this session, we have 2 segments, 2 theme talk, and 1 flash talk. In each segment, we have listed speakers. They will share their ideas, thoughts, experience, and knowledge. So without wasting time, let's start the session. So first theme, we have accessibility. Here we have 6 speakers. Let me hand the mic to the group. Please introduce your group members and start the session, and you have 20 minutes, including Q&A. The mic is to you, to the group.
A very warm welcome. My name is Warren, and I'm happy to facilitate and moderate this session on diversity and inclusion. With me, I have our panelists today. First, we have Nirosha Wedasinghe, an academic from Kotelawala Defense University in Sri Lanka. And we also, welcome Nirosha. And we also have Pio, a tertiary student from Myanmar. Nirosha and Pio will discuss about accessibility issues in their regions. Nirosha and Pio, welcome to the session.
Thank you, Sandran.
Thank you.
Nirosha, would you like to start? Let's talk about some of the overarching challenges in terms of accessibility in your country.
Yes, Sandran. Majority of Sri Lankan differently abled people are getting difficulties of accessing web applications and mobile applications due to poor implementation considerations taken by developers and respective stakeholders in Sri Lanka.
Okay. Theo, would you like to discuss about accessibility challenges?
Thank you, Soren, for inviting me to this session. And also, can you move to the next slide, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Pio from Myanmar. And as you know, since February, we have been suffered the frequent internet outage in different regions and states. And currently, here is the update information that has been Internet has been cut off in these places into the 25 townships in the 5 region and state, as I mentioned here. And moreover, people from these places can access the information, education, and also other opportunity. And on the other hand, they are growing their fear because of the internet has been access denied in their places.
I see. Thank you. Nirosha, would you like to discuss some of the current initiatives that are happening in Sri Lanka to help address the gaps in accessibility?
Yes, Savran. There are several initiations have been taken by the Internet Society Sri Lanka chapter and the ICT agency in Sri Lanka. Under the guidance of Manik Gunaratne, they have initiated many programs to solve these issues. And they are continually kept on training web developers, conducting awareness and training programs. In the process of web and mobile application development, they have proposed to get involvement of people with different types of disabilities, including hearing, reading, and visual impairment. These gaps, the group of people are involving in the development process. But with current survey results reveal that there is a lack of awareness of careless considerations taken by web accessibility needs by the web developers. Many accessibility widgets are available to download, but they are not used. So my first suggestion is we must appoint country-level ambassadors to study and deep investigation on the issues, and they could be responsible agents to the government legal framework. And also the second suggestion is to restructure of current legal framework to support to these marginalized group of people in relation to their accessibility issues. So I would like to say internet is for everyone. Therefore, facilitating a proper international level legal framework would be helpful for these marginalized group of people to overcome these issues.
Completely agree, particularly with having ambassadors, because these are the ones who consistently chase authorities and the stakeholders to ensure things actually happen. And there's a lot of lobbying that happens, So I completely agree with you. Let's move on to Pio. Pio, you discussed some rather pressing issues, and we do understand it may not be easy to combat them. Is there anything that the citizens or the private sector is doing to help address these issues?
Yes, due to the political turmoil, there's no solution from the people who are currently holding the digital frontline. But the citizens are trying to access the internet information and communication using VPNs and virtual private networks. And there's a huge digital device in Myanmar, and new internet users are struggling to get connected. Also, those few that can access the internet do so at the very low speed and bandwidth, and try different kinds of VPN in places where internet outage happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. Now let's move on to our next two participants. We have Yohani Ranisinghe, an academic from University of Colombo, and Brinda Desh, who is from the civil society in India, to discuss about digital education. Welcome, ladies.
Hello, sir.
As well.
Okay, so let's hear from Yohani first. Yohani, could you please tell us about some of the issues pertaining to digital education in Sri Lanka and what is happening in terms of addressing?
Thank you, sir. As you all know, due to the pandemic, internet has become the life savior for many fields, including education. Therefore, accessibility and affordability to internet is very important to make sure education is not a luxury for many people again. Internet has become the key to provide equitable access to education, which is again a United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In Sri Lanka, around 4 million students has affected by the closure of schools, and education system has completely moved to online as everyone else. Actually, we did a survey using 427 undergraduate students, and we saw nearly 20% of them had issues with internet access. The problem is threefold. For some students, accessibility to internet is challenging due to economic barriers. For some, due to living location, there are areas with less coverage, and also, unfortunately, for some, no coverage at all. And thirdly, technical barriers like no enough knowledge to use the technology, and also no devices. So this is the situation in undergraduate level. So we can't expect something better in school children. The main concern for a country like Sri Lanka is education is the bridge for many less privileged children to go to their dreams. So not only that, if we fail to provide education for all as a country, the whole country will have to pay for this in future. So in very short, that's the situation in Sri Lanka, and I believe this is same for many other countries in the world. Thank you.
Yes, I must agree. The same has been happening in Fiji and the Pacific at large. And we also have similar type of issues that you have discussed about. But of course, there needs to be more intensive studies to help identify the issues and then work towards solving them. Okay, let's hear from Brinda Desh now. Brinda, welcome. Over to you.
Hi, Swan. Thank you. I'd really appreciate if you could just zoom in onto the slide. I have a lot of text on the screen. Right. So with my experience as a teacher with Teach for India, having taught in low-income communities, I'll be focusing on online education in India, especially for the school-going children. So if you can see on the slide, there's some alarming statistics about India present on the screen about the number of children that were affected due to the closure of the schools. And the pictures that you see on the screen about children sharing the devices, and they're climbing on the trees to access the internet to join online classes were very common sights during the pandemic. If you could look at Asser's study on the screen as well, the existing digital inequality present just widened during the pandemic, and the gap between the haves and the have-nots worsened because the education sector was not well equipped to deal with the learning going digital even in the remotest places. So apart from the issues of the accessibility, availability, and affordability of internet and the digital devices, access to relevant content, the digital readiness and literacy of the teachers and the students, and prevalence of gender digital divide in our country acted as major roadblocks in providing quality education to all. So also we've not been able to support many learners at the risk of exclusion from the marginalized communities such as linguistic minorities, children of refugees, children with disabilities, and hearing and visual impairment. So that's the current status of the digital education in India right now.
Okay, that's quite a lot, in fact, and I must admit the statistics here are quite alarming. But I can also see that there's some very good initiatives being taken. But first, let's hear from Yohani. Yohani, would you like to speak about some current initiatives, or if you feel that there aren't enough initiatives, do you suggest some solutions that you feel as an academic should be taken on by all the stakeholders?
Yes, sir. And as a country, we have identified these issues, and many initiatives have taken by the private sector, government, and even in individual capacity. Many education data plans were initiated by ISPs initially. Then private sector has introduced data scholarship programs for students in rural areas. And as the government, they restructured the nanocell centers where the students can get internet access for free. And also we have dedicated TV channels where the students can get educational content. And in individual capacity also, many initiatives were taken to introduce like scholarships or give away devices for those students. And these are some of the initiatives actually, but definitely it is not enough.
Yes, I agree. I recently spoke to a child. He was the son of a market vendor, and he told me he only gets 1 hour access per week. So definitely that is not enough. We have similar initiatives, but of course it's not enough. The disparities pertaining to the gadgets is also a very huge challenge. Okay,
Yes.
Let's hear from Brinda now. Would you like to highlight some of the initiatives by government and what you have on the slide?
Sure, Swaran. So to achieve our country's commitment to the sustainable development goals, so many initiatives have been taken under the Digital India screens, which have been highlighted on the screen, but due to the constraint of time, I'll just touch upon two of the recent ones. The first being the National Digital Education Architecture, which was announced in the previous budget to strengthen the country's digital infrastructure for education ecosystem, and the National Education Policy 2020, which also advocates for digital education to improve learning outcomes and 21st century skills. Apart from that, there are some existing infrastructures, for example, common service centers in the remote, the urban and rural towns. They serve as access points for delivery of various e-services, which includes education as well. So just also to improve digital inclusion overall, there has been the BharatNet project under the National Broadband Mission, which aims to provide broadband to all villages by 2022. And even with the accessibility to devices, it is very crucial for the citizens to understand how to use the internet to their benefit, which is exactly the aim of the National Digital Literacy Mission as well. Apart from that, could I also just add in a very quick suggestion here, Swaran, just 30 seconds? Yes. So apart from that, when we speak about digital education in the multi-stakeholder setting, it is also very important for children to be representatives of what needs to be done in the educational, digital education space as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we also have similar types of solutions being discussed. Well, not all of them, but similar types of solutions being discussed in the Pacific. And one of them was to have little hubs in different towns. Of course, there would be people from the communities to man those hubs and to be able to ensure, students get access. And our teachers also, climb on trees. They are on top of these hills and mountains to be able to get network access. So, salute to them and you as well. Okay, let's hear from Yen Ta from Vietnam. Welcome, Yen. Yen will be talking to us about digital economy.
Hi everyone, my name is Yên. I'm from private sector from Vietnam, and from my exposure to SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprise environment, I would like to share some perspectives on the current state of their inclusion in digital economy. You know, SME are expected to be the backbone of digital economy, especially in the emerging countries like Vietnam and ASEAN countries, because they account for a dominant part and the main contributor of private sector. As can be seen on the screen, you can see they are dominant part in our economy. So the digital transformation is strongly, taking place around the world, but in Vietnamese enterprises, especially SMEs, the speed is kind of modest. A survey conducted by Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry at more than 400 businesses in 2020 showed that only half of those businesses actively transformed to digital business, digitalize their business. That means the other half in this survey, they have not actively converted to digital. The reason for this is due to lack of digital mindset, knowledge about necessary technologies, and insights into customer and operational data. Thank you.
Okay. Would you like to discuss any initiative that you feel is currently happening?
Yeah, of course, many initiatives have been implementing to facilitate the inclusion of SMEs in digital economy. Regarding SME, especially under the context caused by the COVID-19, digitalization is a must for SMEs to survive. So the context push the SMEs have to be more actively participating in digitalization. Regarding Vietnamese government, our Ministry of Planning and Investment is drafting a program supporting SMEs with digitalization for the period of 2021 and 2025. And for some international organizations like World Bank, they also providing us the assistance with financial aid and technical support to facilitate the inclusion of SMEs in digital economy.
All right. Thank you very much, Yan. And I've been reminded that we have 5 minutes, so we would now like to open the floor to questions and comments if there's any. Please do raise your hand and you will be unmuted and you can ask your question, or you can also use the chat box. Okay,
Go has a question, has his hand up.
Yeah, if I may, I want to ask a question.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think one of the problems is in this pandemic. It's about the distance learning or distance education. That in my experience, in most of developing countries, that we usually hand in hand to provide like a quota for the internet and some other initiative. But I think the umbrella of this kind of initiatives is a policy that at least like the private sector, they can help if they. But they will still consider about the business aspects. So I think that the parliament or the government should have more advanced steps to create the environment that all the sectors can help each other, because in civil society or NGOs, there are many NGOs that helping these kids, these school children to get to their gadget, to go to the internet, to get online with access points in some places, something like that. But the government, including the local or and provincial government, they should take more step ahead of this of us, something like that. So I think that's also a very important message. I mean, for me to government, because when I see that not many government take this kind of step. Yeah, civil society did, and business sector sometimes they do this because of their CSR or something, and then like internet providers and also like communication telco, they use they have their policy or some kind of policy, but it is in the line of business. But for the government, they have responsible to provide this kind of access to the general education, because of this the kid is our future, and I think that's my opinion about this this sense of educational thing, and I mean digital education, yeah, in this pandemic.
Thank you very much. Yes, a multi-stakeholder approach is very much needed. It cannot happen with just one person or one community. Sorry, do we have time for one more question?
Yes, I think we have 1 minute, so we can surely.
Rohit, would you like to speak now?
Yeah. Okay. So my suggestion is I would like to actually go on the more technical aspects of it. I guess in the few months I have met few children, and they were disconnected from the education, and they were in the online platform for 2 years, and now they are very disinterested in following such a platform when it comes to education. So whilst I was actually researching on how you can improve it and still be connected with the technology, and how the government can also help is, we can focus on augmented and virtual reality. Now, the thing with this is what people assume that they are very expensive, but it's not. These are open sources. You just need skilled people to work on this. So if there is a good knowledge transfer and propagation from the government and few skilled engineers to work on it, we can actually make it a dream, and make it a new thing that can actually come along. So this is what I observed and what I felt.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Actually, very quickly, I'd like to share in Fiji, one of the postgrad students has created a digital literacy tool, which first of all measures digital literacy in 5 different aspects, and also has remediation modules inbuilt. So that has been proven to be quite helpful, and it's based on Pacific-centric issues. So I think we don't have time now, so we better wrap up. So yes, just to wrap up, we have had some great suggestions ranging from ambassadors to robust legislation, multi-stakeholder approach, equitable access, UN SDG goals. Then of course we have some of the disparities. We have some of the barriers, pertaining to economic, geographic, and technical issues. So it's good to see that there are some very good initiatives taking place, and I believe there would be some more in the near future. Thank you very much to the panelists, and I hope we're on time.
Thank you, Swara, and the group for the wonderful knowledge and experience. And I think that was an all women group. And that was kind of like very interesting, women rock. So now let's get back to the session. Now we have cybersecurity trust. In this team talk, we have 4 speakers. I'd like to hand over the mic to Kora. Please introduce your group. You have 20 minutes, including the Q&A. Kora, you have the mic. Can someone unmute Kora?
Cora, can you hear us?
In the meantime, you can even chat in the chat box. You can express your opinions, ideas, thought about what the speakers are saying. Please do use your social media as well. We are technically trying to connect with Quora.
Cora, can you hear us? Okay, I think we have lost her. Can someone else in the group?
Okay. Can someone from the group take a lead? Samik, Diksha, or
can we do the
Rajesh?
flash, can we do the flash talks first then? I don't know, because like she was supposed to lead. So.
Yeah, no worries. If the speakers are ready, then we can certainly go ahead with the flash talk. Can we do the last try? Korak, are you audible, or should we? Okay, so let us try with the flash talk. For the flash talk, we have Alex, P. Alex from India. He's going to talk about a right to be forgotten. Alex.
Hi, I'm extremely sorry, but can I go a second because I'm having a trouble with my laptop while presenting because I have a slide too.
Okay, then can we have Deborah Irene Christine from Indonesia?
Oh, can you hear me clearly?
Deborah?
Yes. Can you hear me clearly?
Sure. So we have Deborah from Indonesia. She's going to talk about civil society evolving cybersecurity risk landscape. You have 5 minutes. You have the mic.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Deborah. I'm from Indonesia. I was told that I only have 3 minutes, actually. So I'm going to briefly talk about the evolving cyber threat landscape of civil society groups worldwide to stimulate our discussion on the issue, or simply a food for thought for you. Cyber attacks on civil society groups and organizations, from NGOs,
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, Deborah. Can you turn up the volume a little bit, or speak closer to the microphone? Sorry.
How about now? Sorry.
It's still very poor.
Sorry, Christine. What about now?
It's still too low to listen to. Sorry.
Test. Is this okay
No.
now?
Can you try? Sorry. Can you try the left button next to the microphone where you can go to audio and turn up the volume, the input volume of your microphone?
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry, let's just give her.
Yeah, what about now?
It's better, but you can still turn up a little.
Yeah, it's already the maximum level, actually.
I think that's acceptable. So, yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. So again, hello, everyone. My name is Deborah. I'm from Indonesia. I'm going to briefly talk about the evolving cyber threat landscape of civil society groups worldwide to stimulate our discussion on the issue, or just simply a food for thought for you. As you can see here in the slides that I'm showing to you, cyber attacks on civil society groups and organizations, from NGOs, humanitarian organizations, think tanks to nonprofits, are on the rise. While they are no stranger to politically motivated attacks by state and state-sponsored actors, they are increasingly targeted by cyber criminals who are after the money provided by donors. Recent cases of ransomware attack and sophisticated phishing attack against different NGOs and CSOs are just some examples of the evolving cybersecurity threat landscape of civil society groups. Despite growing cyber threats from all sides, civil society groups find themselves in a greater state of vulnerability and precarious position in the cybersecurity ecosystem. Cyber attacks do not only prevent civil society groups from fulfilling their missions, but can also harm their service users, which are often vulnerable populations. Imagine sensitive data of refugees that is kept by NGOs being targeted in a ransomware attack. Despite this concerning situation, most civil society groups have limited resources to invest in products and services beyond their mission-oriented needs, including in cybersecurity products and services. Compared to their adversaries, civil society groups are under-resourced and under capacity in terms of cybersecurity and cyber resilience. Besides this issue, civil society groups' marginalization in cybersecurity discourse, processes, and practices adds to their vulnerable and precarious position in comparison to other actors like states, the technical community, and the private sector. How are they marginalized? First, cyber threats targeting civil society are underrepresented in cyber threat reporting, widely used by cybersecurity researchers and practitioners. This has created a distorted view of the general cyber threat landscape. Second, in a lot of countries, including in the APAC region, they are excluded from the target beneficiaries of the national computer security incident response teams. Third, tech service providers often fail to offer adequate incident response support for civil society groups using their service. There is a significant gap between the support that civil society groups need and what the tech companies are willing to provide. Fourth, and this is a classic issue, the participation of civil society groups representing communities affected by cyber operations in cybersecurity policymaking processes is often tokenistic, resulting in outputs that rarely meet civil society groups' concerns. Against this backdrop, there is no single one-fits-all solution, and I look forward to discussing with you on what can be done at different levels to strengthen the cybersecurity of civil society groups. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah, for that wonderful speech. Now, can we have Alex from India?
Yes, certainly. Thank you so much.
Alex is going to talk about a right to be forgotten. He's from India. Alex, you have the mic. You have 4 minutes. Sorry for the time, So.
Sure. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So I am Alan P. Alex from India. I am here to talk about right to be forgotten. So who wouldn't want their information which they don't like, to be out there in the public, accessible for everyone out there? So right to be forgotten is a concept that evolved in 2011 through a landmark case which happened to be from Google, which happened in Spain. So let's quickly go on to the next slide. So as far as information is concerned, it's gone are those days when newspaper reporting and official or government records are the only sources of personal information. And right now, users are not the only one who can create information about themselves on the website. In fact, we have a lot of private and public agencies who save the data about individuals in databases manually or through big data algorithms and everything. And that is a huge risk out there. And because of that, digital shadows of an individual would soon outnumber the actual data we create. Because of the advent of IoT and technologies, we have a huge risk of data being stored or our shadows being there, imprinted, accessible to a lot of people, or possible outcomes out there to misuse the data. And as far as our digital footprint is concerned, whatever we browse, like, share, comment, upload, shop, or messages we send and receive are currently under surveillance. Believe it or not, but we are under scrutiny. And you won't be surprised if something that you talk about with your friend today would surface, for instance, some content or a product which you talk about a friend would surface the next day as your suggestion from many websites or even Google, because everything you talk is being heard, everything you see, everything you browse is out there. And that sometimes scares. And talking about how the whole concept happened, the Google Spain case. So in that particular case, a person who wanted to take some data out of the website regarding a news publication, which happened to, which happened to infringe upon his right to be known in another way which he doesn't want to. So in that case, the court found that Google processed personal information by allowing any internet user to access a structured overview of information relating to that individual on the internet by searching for that individual's name. So what does that mean? Basically, that means that whatever information that is out there on the internet, Google happens to have a specific algorithm which links everything about that person related to that name out there for anyone to access freely. And that won't be possible without that specific algorithm, which is why this particular case was a key highlight in the right to be forgotten concept. So even precise data processing that is legal at the moment can be incompatible with the law over time, which is one specific and important highlight that the court point out, because sometimes some laws or some concepts that we have right now will be redundant in the coming years, and that would create a huge risk of data being out there. So even for all of that, we need this particular concept to be out there specifically and clearly implemented. So there might be an instance where you might get confused with right to privacy and right to be forgotten. So let me just dissect both of them and put into full word. So right to privacy, it's basically it refers to information that is not publicly available. I mean, some information is not at all publicly available, but right to be forgotten happens after that. So you put some information into the internet and your privacy is infringed because that particular data or information you put out there should have been misused, or some wrong information out there is something which you don't want to be there. So it's the data is already there and you want to take it down. So, and right to privacy for that information, it won't be there and it won't be there. So there's the difference between right to be forgotten and right to privacy. And what is the solution? So before 2 years back, geo-blocking, that was the main criteria which was followed, which means a particular search engine or an intermediary who is requested to take down a particular link would only take down that content or access in that particular country or region. But nowadays it has become redundant and it's become fairly easy to access that information by using VPNs or other mechanisms like various softwares. So in that case, complying with a tribunal's or a specific authorities' order to take down a particular content won't work, and only global blocking can be the only solution forward, which means taking down that content from the whole, restricting the access to any person sitting anywhere around the world. Because even if that particular country or that access is blocked in a particular country, it won't make any sense because it can be reaccessed anytime. And plus, the access is only denied and not the actual data. The data stays there and we don't know if the data is deleted, and we don't have mechanisms or foolproof mechanism to say that that particular data is deleted forever. So even if the content is blocked or the access is restricted, some way, someone out there, someone who can actually pull out the strings or have the aggregate authority can actually access the data. And that is a conundrum that we have to face. And this is the only way forward, a system that allows some of the digital shadow to be purged is most logical. So by concluding, I would say a system that allows who claims to not use the data or store the data in a way which we don't want should be the possible way forward. And it is a priceless thing to move forward with, so that the data and the content shouldn't be stored without a person's consent, and it shouldn't be there in the internet if that particular person don't want it to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for that short information. So now I'm probably rushing in because time is running out, and we still have a theme talk and one more flash speaker. So flash talk speaker. So can we have Muhammad Afiq Amar Tulas from Malaysia? He's going to talk about digital inclusion from the perspective of internationalized domain name IDNs. So Muhammad, you have the mic.
Yes, thank you, Sridip. So hi, Assalamualaikum, Namaste. My name is Afiq and I'm from Malaysia. And today I will talk about digital inclusion from the perspective of internationalized domain names. So what is IDN? IDN is basically internationalized domain names that enable people from around the world to use domain names in their own local languages and scripts. It is formed using characters from different scripts such as Arabic, Chinese, Cyrillic, and Devanagari. And all of these scripts are encoded by the Unicode standard and used in accordance with relevant IDN protocols. And IDN is meant to develop and promote a multilingual internet. So not necessarily we use ASCII format, but also can use local language and scripts. And it's currently being adopted at the top level. Sorry, I heard voices. Okay, so I'll continue. So IDN is being adopted also in the top level domain, including in the CCTLD and also the GTLD, the country code top level domain, and also the generic top level domain. So currently there are 61 IDNs under the CCTLD and 93 under the GTLD that has been delegated. So why IDN is important? In connecting the IDN with the Digital Inclusion Initiative, we have to note that the digital inclusion were meant and introduced as a strategy to assist in addressing the digital divide, which may affect people from diverse backgrounds, various educational levels, and differentiate people based on its localization, based on their localization or geographical area. And digital inclusion will be hard to achieve if the internet is not flexible enough and limited to only one language. As we stand with one internet, we shall also stand with that one internet is for all. And therefore, we must look into the importance of equal opportunity for those people to get connected and getting their voices heard. I believe IDN is also important in supporting the Digital Inclusion Initiative, which will help us in create 3 C's, which is convenient, provide convenient environment for the internet, provide a more confident level towards the consumers, and also to improve capabilities of the consumers as well. So as the internet is said to be a lifeline during this pandemic, it is such a perfect time for us to note that digital literacy can be so important for all of us in continuing our daily activities that helps to keep relevancy and sustainability in many sectors, such as administration, judiciary, education, and also the medical sectors, which previously may require a traditional approach, but it is proven now that it may also proceed online. However, for some of us, the digital divide and digital literacy are just too far away, where they need something like the IDN to ensure that they will not be left behind forever. Instead, they are capable to continue to survive using the internet as their lifeline. When we discuss about what are the challenges of the IDN, I will give 3 challenges. The first one is the user perception and awareness. Not so many of them aware or having trust to use the IDN or to adopt the IDN. Second one is the application support. We need more support from the applications providers, service providers, social media platforms to adopt and to support the IDN's characters and languages. And also we need the technology support in terms of devices, especially on the keyboard part, that we need local entrepreneurs or local inventors to come in and help building more devices and more technology support for the IDN. And I just would like to share a bit on, I would like to share a bit on IDN in Malaysia. So basically we are having 3 IDNs in Malaysia. We have Jawi, Tamil, and Chinese, which represent 3 big races in Malaysia, where the total registration now is at 2,107 registration as at 31st of August. And we have so many initiatives, but we have so many challenges as well. But if you can see that the percentage of IDN registrations versus ASCII registration is still very low, but with the continuous initiatives and continuous promotion of digital inclusion, we believe that we might be able to improve the IDN's adoption in the future. So thank you. Thank you, Shreedip.
Thank you, Muhammad. Sorry for being so tight on time because time is running out and due to the technical issues,
yeah, I'm trying.
We still have.
I'm trying as soon as possible.
But this is an idea about what goes behind the session. So this was an experience for the fellows to know the reality of behind the scene of the sessions. So now let's go back to the cybersecurity trust theme. In this theme talk, we have four speakers. Now I hand over the mic to Cora. Please introduce your group. You have less than 30 minutes within which you have to manage the Q&A as well. So Cora, you have the mic.
Hi everyone, am I audible now?
Loud and clear.
Thanks to the organizers for having us. Sorry for the inconvenience earlier. I have 3 other fellows with me, Samik, who is a journalist, Diksha, who is a student, and Rajesh, who is a police officer. This separate slot really gave us a sense of responsibility that we have a voice and individual contribution in shaping our digital community. That being said, internet provides us with the power, and we need to realize the fact that with great power comes great responsibility. Every day, a large number of people get access to the digital world, even those who don't have awareness about ground rules of technology. I belong to a developing country where the focus towards internet is increasing day by day. My people are new to technology as compared to other developed countries in the world. Most of them don't even realize that there is a human sitting on the other side of the screen. So there is a dire need of an authority to serve the purpose of spreading awareness of internet laws, especially. By doing so, honestly, I think half the problems of Gen Z can be solved as we spend most of our time on the internet. Diksha, would you like to come forward and talk about how human factors should be introduced to technologies?
Yeah, thank you, Cora. So I'll be talking about human aspects of technology. We need to take into consideration that technology was first founded on the ground that it was founded to make human life convenient, and technology is for human being, right? So we need to when we talk about cyber security, we need to keep in mind that the consequences of cyber breaches or security breaches are faced by human beings. The human aspect in information technology is fundamental. We need to lead by a human-centric approach while dealing with issues relating to cybersecurity. Harassment also from a policy level too. In internet, laws and policies are made by the ruling class, and oftentimes the policies and laws don't take marginalized voices into consideration, which in long term doesn't make the internet a safe space for them, and as a consequences directly affect their access and participations. In Nepal, we don't have a separate act or law to address the issues relating to cybersecurities. The laws and policies are scattered all over the places. We have Electronic Transaction Act 2008, National Criminal Code 2017. However, the laws are often being used to criminalize expressions of marginalized voices rather than safeguarding and making internet a safe space. So while we talk about technology, we need to think about human being and how while people stay and interact on the internet, it directly or indirectly have a psychological effect on human beings. Thank you.
My partner Rajesh also expressed similar views on this. Thank you, Diksha. Yes, we already have so many loopholes in the cyber laws. We need to think about how this can affect security in developing countries. Actually, Rajesh raised a very intelligent point about increased crime rate regarding e-banking during pandemic. Most of our people were newly introduced to e-banking during the quarantine. Authorities need to take a notice that even if a PIN code is provided by the user, the system of banking shouldn't be so fragile to be revolving around a mere code. Even after finding the scammers, banks deny to lodge a case and call it a mistake of the client. If our money is not safe in the banks, then why should we keep it there in the first place? Someone has to take the responsibility of online transactions. We know one is only as strong as their weakest link. So I would like to add a personal incident that happened to me last night when I was transferring money to my brother who was standing on a bus stop. So in hurry, I entered a wrong digit to his account number and my money got transferred to a wrong account. So within seconds, I connected to the helpline, but none of them took responsibility, not even the bank, not the helpline. If money can be transferred through internet to the wrong recipient, why cannot it be returned to the owner, that too in a matter of seconds? Rajesh, could you please put light on increasing crime rates during lockdown in your area in Nepal?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm Rajesh. I'm from Nepal Police. So this was the last data we have. So you see, before the lockdown, before that COVID, we have almost zero, like the data of online fraud, or this is the online fraud data. So it's almost like a zero. And we have some lottery fraud, that's some 3, and almost null in 1 year, and another time it was a 2. So after the since the lockdown since that pandemic, the new trend, work from home and online transactions were raised. So then the developing country like Nepal, we also start using the same as the whole world did. So then the after the pandemic, the scam case has been raised, and every day we just got some case of 5 to 10 in each police station. And so this is the data that this is a Facebook page called ML Electronics, and lots of cases have been lost within this page. While we asked the data with Facebook, then they said that the page is it's a page registered with Nigerian IP address, so we cannot do anything with that case. So that's for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajesh. I must say that same kind of stuff has been happening in Pakistan too. People have started to have trust issues regarding their privacy. They believe that authorities, instead of tracking crimes through data, utilize this personal information in promoting brands. When I talk to several people around me to ask them why don't they trust internet with their privacy, a friend stated that she does online shopping on a website and starts getting ads related to it very next moment. And I think this is very relatable to all of us. We watch a movie on Netflix and next day our feed is full of clips from that movie. People are not really satisfied with their privacy being sold for business purposes. Some of my fellows also stated that their accounts reach got limited because they posted about Palestine and other issues with contradicting opinions. They call it a biased internet algorithm. People have started to think that internet picks sides and decides whose human rights matter the most. Samik, are you here? Do you want to talk about how internet community should ensure trust among users?
Samik, are you speaking?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, but like just lighting the talk. So like we're progressing into the digital transactions and platforms for ease. However, we don't consider what happens to our private data. That's for like a country like ours or Pakistan or Nepal. However, for me, these platforms and policies have, for me personally, they've failed to gain confidence. So I don't use any of the digital wallets or digital transactions myself. I've been more stuck with traditional ways of payment, sidelining all the digital payment methods. The fraud is likely to increase because, as Rajesh pointed out, from 0 to being like 5 or 10 cases a day, because the uses of digital wallet and online transaction were rare before the pandemic. So more people are using it. They are more acquainted to the platform. So the frauds are likely to increase in the very days to come. So this is a very new facility for Nepal. And I think my perspective is it should be, it's not be treated like other crimes. This is a very civil society perspective because this is very new and people are not really aware about how to even function with these platforms. Also, the question is this is a question for my colleague as well, Rajesh. Should these financial crimes be treated by police? Do they have the expertise to do so? Or even what expertise does the state have to treat these financial frauds? And should we call it frauds or crimes, And who ensures accountability for my data? Even me being with tech and revolving around it, I mostly deny to use these platforms, which are at very embryonic stage. The problem I see with transactions is maybe some of the users are not aware of what they are committing, what crimes they're even committing, And crime is a really big word to put into this very first embarked journey into digital endeavors. That's my thought. So what can be done about it? It's a very good old way we always talk about. The major step has to be the government to regulate these platforms and ensure data trust, and also ensure accountability and trust when and even when they procure third-party companies for data purposes. This would be very accountable about that. Also, in for a country like ours, we are caught between two sides. We use both analog and digital methods, so we're actually stepping into two boats, and it's a very problematic journey, I think, because not just crimes. I can relate to stock markets and shares, which exponentially increased during when they switched to digital platforms. That happened a year ago, and everyone was investing in shares and stocks in Nepal, which exponentially increased, and it was everyone was doing it. But what is the accountability there, and where is the transparency? That is my question, and I would like to open the floor now, if similar cases or similar issues have been in your countries or region.
Samik, sorry to interrupt, but we just have 1 minute left. So I think you guys can connect, you guys can share it, you guys can talk it in the different groups as well. Lastly, I would like to thank all the speakers, all the mentors, the MSG, the staff who have contributed so much, and with this energy, with this engagement, keep engaging in social media, keep striving to excellence, and let's have a photo. So Christine will be taking some screenshot of the session. So please open up your cameras for the photo session. Christine, please take over.
Yes, I'm trying to turn on my camera as well, if we can see. Okay. Give it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, let me turn off the timer as well.